Hello and welcome. We have a special presentation from In the Money Media about Saturday's Fountain of Youth. We've teased it on other programming here on the In the Money Media YouTube channel. We are now streaming live, and you can also catch the replay. Hello to everybody wherever you're watching. Very happy to reconvene our usual panel when racing is going to be on NBC Sports, as it is going to be on this Saturday, 4:30 to 6:30, 5 to 6,
4:30 to 6,
4:30 to 6. Well, that Racing Form has a typo because they've got the Fountain of Youth going after that, but we'll tell them. I'll tell them that in a separate communication. Very excited to have with us.
They were going to, Pete, but Randy refused to work past 6 p.m., so that was it.
Jerry Bailey and Randy Moss. You've heard their voices. Randy, welcome back to the world of horse racing. I understand you have been. You go ahead.
Hang on.
Yep.
It may be 5 to 6:30.
Okay. It's okay. People.
It is. It's 5 to 6:30.
Okay. We're breaking news. We've got it now. NBC, SN, and Peacock. You can catch these guys and the rest of the team. Going to be fantastic coverage as ever. But Randy, I was welcoming you back to the world of horse racing after a couple of weeks covering Olympics and covering the biathlon, and you said something very interesting to me off air that I want you to expand on quickly here on air. The idea that you think that horse racing might have something to learn from biathlon.
Yeah, I've got a new sports love, Pete. I don't know if I have time to follow it, but it was a blast doing biathlon, and horse racing would have something to learn. Biathlon is this deep in analytics. I'm talking fractional times, speed figures for skiers, cool. You name it. And me, you can imagine me in analytics and all that. I mean, it was like right up my alley. I absolutely loved it. So, and they're accurate, which is what horse racing could learn from as well.
What's the tech? Do you know the tech offhand? Not to go too down the rabbit hole, but is it a GPS-based tech that's just better, or what is it?
No, it's the loop. It's the loop system that has been it's been used in everything from auto racing to track and field, et cetera, where loops are buried. In this case, they're buried in the snow.
Interesting.
And it's very, very accurate. Yeah.
Jerry, if you were to cover an Olympic sport, what one would it be?
I think ski jumping. I kind of like ski jumping. Yeah.
Really?
It's got a little speed to it, a little danger to it. And by the way, Pete, Randy's being very kind. It's biathlon, not biathlon. It's biathlon.
Right.
I learned that watching Randy Moss.
Biathlon.
Biathlon. I put an extra syllable in there, didn't I? Apologies for the host fail on that one. I do wonder with both of those endeavors, the idea of that you could have essentially a variant, because I'll hear people on broadcast with the skiing, especially trying to compare a run from one day to another. And I'm thinking to myself, this has got to be like racing. It's not the same mountain every day. There's got to be a way to correct. It doesn't really matter what they did in the training run versus a week later, right? I mean,
do you have a track variant, Randy?
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into this before we talk about the Fountain of Youth. But for these biathlon races, you're talking like 90 people in each race, unless it's the mass start with 30 or the pursuit with 60. Most of them are like 90 athletes in there. And you're right, all sorts of different courses, different levels, gradients, up, down. So they take the 90 times that the skiers ski, not the shooting part, the ski part, and they take a median, the average, which is going to be pretty comparable because you're talking about the same athletes week after week after week. And they grade them, they rate them according to the deviation from the median. And it's very accurate. It's very consistent.
Very interesting stuff. We hope we keep you in racing and your knowledge and passion here. We don't lose you to the cross country and the shooting. But I think the concept of speed figures is a good way in to our conversation about the Fountain of Youth, because here we do have a horse returning to the races in Napoleon Solo, who ran a 95 Beyer speed figure back on October 4th of his 2-year-old year, now about to enter March of his 3-year-old year. From a speed figure perspective, Randy, what do you expect this horse to run? Because it seems like if he runs his race, the rest might be running for second.
There's a lot to talk about there. I mean, they purposely chose not to ship him out to Del Mar for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He was in good shape. He could have made the trip, but they were thinking about, as a 3-year-old, they didn't want to put that much stress on him as a 2-year-old. So they've been pointing for this race. That race was no fluke. It was unbelievable. I mean, 107 and change for 6 furlongs going a mile. Yeah, the track was California fast, but 109 and change for California fast would be good.
Right.
And 107 and change, he didn't beat a whole lot, but he kept running and was extremely impressive. Jerry, I think probably the question is, how cranked up is he for this particular race? Because Chad Summers looked at the way Bill Mott trained Sovereignty up to the Fountain of Youth. And he told us, Jerry and I just talked to him earlier today, that, Sovereignty wasn't quite 100% cranked for this race. Dornoch wasn't quite 100% cranked for this race. And that's kind of the benchmark for Napoleon Solo. So is he good enough to win if he's not quite 100%?
I think he probably is, but a lot of other things have to be answered as well. I mean, he's never gone 2 turns. So you can run a 95 around 1 turn, and then you go around 2 turns, it's not going to be the same animal. Also, he's a fast horse, and there is a lot of other early speed in this. Randy and I were speaking about this earlier. As a rider, you have to be very careful to let him use a little bit of his early speed to get positioned into the first turn without turning the engine on and getting, tied up with the 2 speed horses inside and outside of him, because that'll be his undoing, especially first time out of the year. So can Kendrick Carmouche finesse his way in the early part of the race, sitting right behind the 2 horses that have got obviously the most natural speed? Rocky's Balboa on the inside, and
Solitude
Dude on the outside. They're both very fast from the gate and very fast fractionally.
Now, according to Summers, Pete, he has trained the horse differently this year than he did as a 2-year-old. Longer, slower, gallop outs, the emphasis on gallop outs and not on speed. We'll see if that makes a difference.
Doesn't sound like he's necessarily one-way speed, and we even see that just looking in the past performances. He did pass a horse on debut, so hearing the combination of that and the different training, perhaps he doesn't just need to try to bottom out this field. Maybe he can settle and finish a little bit. I need to ask you, Jerry, about the 6 runner in this race, Chief Walabi, for your old pal Bill Mott. This horse so impressive on debut, and such an unusual thing for Mott to take a 3-year-old off just 1 win and pitch him into a stakes race. I mean, this is a man who, as we know, will occasionally look for excuses not to run his horses if he thinks there's any chance he's going to be asking too much too soon. And yet Chief Walabi ends up here. What's going on?
Well, he explained it pretty well. I mean, this was not his original choice. He wanted to run him. He was thinking about running him 7/8. He was thinking about running him long. But he'll tell you this is not the ideal way to get a horse to the Fountain of Youth, or to the Kentucky Derby, I should say. But he's very talented, and he's going to learn a lot. We all are going to learn a lot. He's in the same boat to me as Canaletto. 1 race, brilliant looking, and then they have to jump into the fire. But when you get late starts in this game, then you have to jump a little ahead of what you would normally want to do. And the race does set up for him. If he runs the same style of race he did breaking his maiden, it sets up perfectly. But again, a big ask. You're going from 7/8 to 2 turns. You're going from a maiden to stake winners. So it's a lot.
And Mott's already set the table. I mean, he says this whole thing is a rush job. It's not the progression I wanted. It's not the proper way to do things. Saturday is the race. Sunday, there was a 7/8 mile optional claiming allowance race in the condition book, and it didn't fill. That's what he wanted to run in.
Wow.
And then they hung up an extra at 1 1/8 miles. And so he figured, okay, it's an $80,000 purse. Do I want to go? He would have been 3 to 5 because that race filled. Do I want to go from 7/8 of a mile to 1 1/8 miles for an $89,000 purse? Or is the progression better from 7/8 to 1 1/16 miles for a $400,000 purse with points for the Kentucky Derby? And so ultimately, this is what he chose to do.
When you're evaluating the speed figure of a horse with just 1 number, Randy, how important is it, if at all, or how different is it, if at all, that the horse earned a strong figure going 7 furlongs as opposed to a shorter sprint before tackling a task like this 2 turns that he'll face on Saturday?
I don't know if it would have made a big difference to me if the horse had won at 6 furlongs instead of 7 furlongs. I think more than anything, it's the fact that Bill Mott won with the first-time starter, which is not his typical MO. I mean, Sovereignty didn't win his first lifetime start,
Right.
and this horse did, and he looked good doing it. And the horse that he beat, a horse called the Puma, came back as a maiden in his next start and was third in the Sam Davis at Tampa Bay Downs.
Right.
So the quality of competition he was facing was good.
Yeah, the form is okay there. We got to talk about Commandment. I was interested that my buddy Brian Natto made this one as short as 2-1 on the morning line here. Certainly, I mean, I get it. Imperious in victory the last twice. These open length wins, finishing the race last time much better. The race 2 back, the form has been good. The race last time, the form's not been so good. What do you guys make of Commandment?
Well, he certainly won the right way. It was a stakes race. He sat right behind in the middle of the pack. He cruised up behind a wall of horses turning for home. He split them, and then he went on and finished the race out, drawing away very impressively. So even though it was a stakes race, it wasn't worth any points. So he needs to step up here and get some points himself to take the pressure off. But the number was good, not great. So he's got to run faster, and he's got to prove it around 2 turns as well. But his style leads me to believe, and the way he did it in the Mucho Macho Man, that I don't think he will have a problem with traffic or the distance.
I don't either. And the progression has been unbelievably good. His first lifetime start, he didn't know what he was doing. I mean, he dropped back to next to the last, and Irad was on him and kept slapping him on the shoulder to try to get him going. And, finally he passed some tired horses and finished 4th. And then the next time he wins, despite being in tight and getting bounced around and bullying his way through traffic. And then last time out, he was behind a wall of horses, and just sit there and waited and then split and drew off and looked very good doing it. I think he's going to run about a 94, 95, 96. Is that good enough? Probably, maybe not though.
Maybe, yeah. It's right there. I mean, I'm guessing it's right there, unless you see a significant step forward from one of the others we've talked about already. At the end of the video, I'll hold your guys' feet to the fire for a pick, as it were. But I do want to give us a chance to pull in something maybe at a little bit more of a price, not necessarily to win, though maybe, but at least to outrun their odds. Is there a long shot that intrigues either of you in this Fountain of Youth field?
Well, I don't know what the odds are, to be honest with you, but I would have to think Bravaro. What is Bravaro?
8-1.
That's
the horse then.
That's the
because
horse.
he had a wide trip the other day. He's drawn more inside. He's right behind the speed. I think the trip sets up for him. The race is perfectly situated for him to sit there, save ground, tip out, and make a run. And he doesn't have to improve much. Just the saving of the ground will help him a lot. And this is probably his race to win.
Also at 8-1 is Jackson Hole, and he's going to save ground. His numbers are going to have to improve a lot, but there are some people who I trust that are much more astute at watching workouts than I am, and they say this horse has just looked fantastic in his recent workouts. So there is that.
Couple interesting runners. Yeah, Bravaro also interesting. I should point out he will, by all accounts, go here, not the Rebel where he's crossing.
Yes.
Everything I'm hearing is, he's going to turn up here. He'll also give us a line on that Holy Bull form where Nearly has vaulted to the top of many Derby lists. You like him, Jerry?
Exactly. Yeah. I like Nearly. Listen, I only have 2 or 3 horses on my Derby list right now. The rest of them have too many questions. They either haven't run enough times, they've been off. Can they improve enough? I've got Nearly and Paladin. That's it. I mean, I can throw Commandment in there, but he has a question too. Napoleon Solo, Blackout Time, Renegade. Those need to improve. So to me, right now, I've got 2, Nearly and Paladin.
Yeah, and don't forget about Litmus Test either. I mean, he'll probably
I've got
win
him but he's going to run. He's not going to run. His schedule has been less than perfect. So to me, that's a question mark still.
Yeah, he's running the Rebel on Sunday against the winner of the Southwest, and I think he'll probably win. So that'll be interesting.
Blackout Time, an interesting wild card in there as well. Going to be a fun race to check out on Sunday. But we're focused on Saturday.
You're right. Navarro's performance will tell you all you need to know, at least me, what I need to know about Nearly. Is he that good? Navarro as well? Yeah, he is.
We're going to shake up our Derby top 10 after these two races for sure. Okay, guys, I told you I wasn't going to keep you long, so let's get to the key question. Who's going to win the Fountain of Youth, Jerry Bailey?
I'll take Commandment. I think the race sets up perfectly for him, Navarro, but I think he's a little more talented.
Yeah, the fact that Commandment was able to sit back last time with a wall of horses in front of him and wait, and then split rivals, that's kind of the trip he's going to get. He's going to get another inside trip, probably behind Jackson Hole, just sitting on the rail. And I think, I agree with Jerry. I think he's the horse to beat, but Napoleon Solo is an awfully good horse too.
Going to be very interesting. That is great info you guys shared about the maybe not plan A, or the definitely not plan A about Chief Walabi. That's who I had picked without that info. I'm interested to see how he gets on. Big weekend of racing. Catch the last 3 races of this all stakes pick 5 on NBC with Jerry and Randy and the team. And for much more on this great day of racing, make sure you check out the In the Money Players podcast, wherever you get your pods, and make sure you subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.